We're very focused here at QBI on biochemistry, biophysics, structural biology, and those are huge strengths at FUB. The relationship started in Berlin in 2019, where a group of enthusiastic scientists from UCSF, QBI, went to Berlin. The science was so synergistic. We stayed connected, and then we had a symposium here in San Francisco almost 5 years later. For me, it was so exciting to see the energy still there, and in fact, the energy had grown over those 5 years, just because of the nature of the science that we're both involved in, and I'd also say of the personalities involved. Very collaborative, very open.
There's a clear focus on structural biology at both places, and that's what we call an integrative structural biology approach. Most importantly, there is synergy between people, because I think at the end it's all about also the chemistry between individual people who then can push forward a certain topic.
There's so many of us working on very similar problems or using similar methodologies, so we learned so much from each other, and I think we inspired each other a lot. And all the sessions were just amazing. We had to always cut the questions to keep up on time. Yesterday we were more than an hour late in the end of the day, and this was not because we were disorganized, it just was so much interest in everybody's science and talks.
It's always great to talk about your science in front of other scientists and just get their perspective and their feedback on things. I got asked a lot of really insightful questions. It automatically leads to some cool suggestions, next experiments that we hadn't considered before, but that I'm now really excited to do.
When you're in a room with somebody, it makes it so much easier to go up to them after a talk and say, hey, what do you think about our problem specifically? Do you think you could have traction on that? That is the place where you spark these kind of cross-disciplinary collaborations that make it possible to do stuff that my lab could not do on our own.
I've been talking actually this morning already to a number of people about such potential collaborations and the potential that we have in launching a San Francisco-Berlin axis. Meeting people in reality, you start to realize how people think on a scientific level, and perhaps whether you harmonize on a personal level, which is always important in a collaboration because it's essentially a relationship of trust.
I think a number of new perspectives were given for individual groups, which is, I think, is at the heart of such an initiative. And the question whether this can then be funneled into a more strategic collaboration between the two places, that's an ongoing discussion, but that's certainly something we want to achieve on the midterm to long term. Yeah.
One of the ways in which we're trying to continue this relationship is applying for an Einstein Fellow, where the idea is an individual, in this case it would be me, as I'm being nominated by Christian Freund at FUB, would go and set up a presence in an institution in Berlin. And I hope that the work that we've put into this to date makes us a good candidate to get this award, because this is funding and an award that would help us to continue this very exciting relationship.